Dale in Knoxville, Tennessee.
How you doing, Russell? I'm a
good.
second-time caller, too, but I'd
Okay.
like to say that I now believe in time travel, or at least time dilation, because the last 10 minutes that I've experienced has expanded twice that.
Actually, that was like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't a trick.
Anyway, Russell, I talked to you before, and I said that I was a deist, and I was concerned with what I appeared to be animosity from the atheists toward the deists.
Okay.
And I'm just wanting to ask why.
Well, it depends on what you're perceiving. First of all, I would want to know what are you calling animosity, and second of all, if you do experience animosity from some people, why does it concern you?
Why would it concern me?
Yeah, I mean, are these people that have authority over you in some way, or that could impact your life, like they structure your salary, or?
Oh, no.
Okay,
no,
so if they don't
like that.
if they don't like something about what you believe, it actually has zero impact on you, right? I mean,
it actually has a little bit, except maybe hurting my feelings.
Okay, so but that would be self-inflicted, right? I mean,
Would it be?
I think so, right? Because you
Well, I don't
you
know.
could blow it off if you wanted to, right?
Oh, I could do that.
Okay, so it's
but
a choice,
maybe I'm holding on to it like a hurt that I'd like to nurse.
All right, so then what is the animosity that you perceive?
Well, when I was on the show before, and I did briefly mention atheism, Russell was he was so nice that the people on the After Dinner show said that he was being much too easy on me. The After whatever show.
They do tend to hit me with that.
Yeah.
He's a big softy.
You're such a sweetheart. But anyway, one of the people that were responding about my short little thing there was, let me just quote this as 2 lines from a much longer one. I can say that everyone who supports their irrational views as, okay, quotation mark, is promoting shite, and I believe that is the more feminine term for the common vulgarity,
I think it's
and
the
doing
more
a
British
disservice
term.
to society, and blast the deist, and Westboro Baptist, I guess that's God hates fags people,
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
together in one fell swoop. Now, does that sound
Wait,
a little
who's that?
aggressive?
Wait, who issued this statement?
Who issued that statement?
Are you
Russell?
talking-
She's
No, are
sitting
you
right
talking
next
about
to you.
Blog commenters?
Russell
Or-
said this?
No,
didn't say
you
shite.
did.
Wait, I said this?
Yes, you did.
That they go together with Westboro? When did I say this?
It's April 17th, I believe it was, when I called in. And you were participating
Okay.
on the texting thing off to the side.
Okay.
And you had a much longer statement here.
What was my
No,
username?
woo. You also mentioned
Woo sounds like me, yeah.
So,
All right, well, let me just say then, when it comes, okay, there's 2 ways to look at this, so let me just sort of clarify something.
okay. You're going to clarify putting us in the Westboro
Yes.
Baptist
Yes.
category.
Yeah, I will. I mean, I assume, woo does sound like me.
Oh, this
I
is
don't
gonna be
remember the
worth
specific
it.
statement, but that's okay. I don't remember a lot of things. I say a lot of stuff.
I'll be happy to send you a copy of it
No,
or the
it's
address.
fine. I'm gonna, let's just say this is me.
Okay.
There is, people sometimes ask us, do we consider religions to have any kind of a hierarchy as far as problems that they cause the world? And we will say yes. Yes, when you're going to break it down to harm caused by, to the world, you're probably going to have like a ranking where some of them harm the world in a really big way and some of them harm the world in less of a way.
Yeah, although
Okay, I'm seeing Westboro
just
Baptist
like to
Church and I'm
mention-
seeing deists. Now make
in
the
that
connection for
ranking,
me.
in that ranking, I would put fundamentalist Christians more with fundamentalist Muslims than
Right,
with
right.
liberal
Well, as
Christians.
Tracy points
here's
out,
the
that I
thing.
don't care about that.
There are other ways, though, in which they are all on a level field.
Okay.
So in other words, like for example, somebody might say that, I guess there's like a trigger warning for sexual assault here. Somebody might say that raping a person is worse than punching them, okay? Like punching somebody once is not as bad as a rape as far as harm that's caused. But it is true that both violations are in the same category as far as they are bodily physical boundary breaches of a violation where you did the same thing but to a greater degree.
Well, I don't know where you're going with this, but I can quote something else you said.
Go ahead. Where I'm going with it is that there are commonalities to some things Even though
so you would say atheists and deists have a commonality?
No, I would say that deists and Westboro Baptists have a commonality.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm saying that...
Are y'all doing a cult or something? It sounds like it's your way or the highway.
No, I didn't. Where did I say that? You can be a deist. You can join Westboro. I don't care. Do what you want to do. I can't stop you, right?
Okay.
That's my point. What I'm saying, though, is if somebody's talking about do these both promote woo, my answer is yes. If they ask me, are they both promoting unreasonable beliefs? Are they both fostering unreasonable beliefs? My answer is yes. If somebody wants me to say, does one do more harm to society than the other? I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
So on one level, it is the same thing happening. They do
You're saying
promote the
atheists
same...
do no harm to society?
When
There's
did I say that?
some ladder up from deists?
When did I say? Why you keep saying I mean, there's some
No,
things
you're
saying
saying
that
there
I'm
are
fine with.
degrees, and you're saying that Westboro Baptist Church and the deists need to be in the same category. I'm just wondering where you're putting the atheists.
If you're talking about promoting woo, then yes, the deistic view is woo, and yes, Westboro is woo. If you're talking about, if you're asking me, do I think that all woo causes the same level of harm to society? My answer is no.
So when you used an enemy of the state or whatever it was you said there.
That part doesn't quite sound like me.
Oh no! I'm trying to read it from across the room,
Okay.
and I must say I am. My eyes are not good, but something. Oh yes, if they espouse an unreasonable position publicly, it should not be. It might not be. You did put the not in there. Be the thing that someone sees as the number one enemy of society.
Okay, yeah, okay. So espousing a view
All right, so let me see
unreasonable
if I
might
can,
not be the worst thing.
Let me see if we can part friends here. Now, as an
Why?
atheist, well,
Why do you care if we're friends?
you know, probably when I hang up, I'm not going to.
Well, it doesn't.
But
I don't
since
see why
I'm
you care
talking
now.
to you, I'd at least like to be polite and civil.
I don't mind being polite and civil. I'm just curious about why you would care if somebody thinks
Well,
badly of
let's-
what you believe.
Well, that goes off in another tangent. I've got that
Yeah, it
10-minute
does.
time limit.
Weird. This is a weird thing.
Well, is there any reason? Is there anything different that a deist would do in his life as opposed to an atheist?
I don't know. Other than promoting woo, no. Maybe not. I don't know who. It would depend on the deist and the atheist.
So the atheist says, "I see no reason to personally believe in a God," right? Or is that the popular one?
I think that's probably fair.
Okay. And obviously, your reasoning is what you're going to go with, but someone else might have an alternate sort of reasoning, and
You have alternate
they're
reasoning.
worthless?
Wait, you've got alternate reasoning. What kind of reasoning do you use?
Oh.
What reasoning? Like you don't use logic? Or you use
I see your point. That was a poor choice of words.
Okay, fair enough.
For someone who might see evidence of God in nature, which is what deists do.
Can you show me that?
Can I show you evidence of God in nature?
Please.
I can see order, things like that, and to me, that means that there's some sort of combining force, maybe even the force like in Star Wars. But it is not something you pray to, and not something you kill people for not believing. And with the sort of naturalism that's going around, I should think we'd be friends. But when I get, this was not the only letter on your website. So, and I just get very confused.
Which website is this? I'm wondering where I'm posting this.
You were making comments on that, is it called After Dinner Show?
Oh,
were you?
yeah, the After Dinner page. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
And I wonder what those comments were in response to, but yeah, go ahead. I was probably commenting on another show I was watching. Is that correct?
No.
I was on the show and commenting on the dinner page at the same time?
No, you were off the show, but you were commenting by tweeting or whatever.
I was posting comments on the page. Yeah, but I was viewing the show, posting comments on the page, like responding to
and
particular comments that were coming up during the calls.
Yeah.
I would really love to see more context to this thing, but I'm taking it,
we
on
don't
the
want to
chin
take
on
up
this
too
one.
much time.
Yeah, and I am taking it on the chin by just saying, okay, let's just take it at face value here without the context of it. But I do respond to other people's comments on those threads, and there's probably more people posting in that comment thread than just me that I'm interacting with, and we are probably having a dialogue, is my guess, because that's how those call threads go. But I just want to make that clear, that And I'm happy to clarify, and I'm happy to say publicly, more publicly than on that page, that yes, there are differences in the level of harm depending on the woo that is being promoted. Some woo
I'd still shred it based on it being unreasonable.
It is unreasonable. Yes, based on it being unreasonable, not based on it doing tons of harm to society.
Well,
do you see the difference?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't. But
you
what I
don't
would
see a
like to
difference
say,
between saying I would shred it on its unreasonable nature, but I would that could be different than saying that it's killing people.
Okay.
You don't see a difference in those statements.
Not really.
Okay.
I'm not
All
really
right.
paying that much attention. So, to be honest
Guys, I feel like I have to separate you two.
You're the host.
Well, let me say one little plug here. I used to work in psychiatry in the military. When I came out, one of the things we did not talk about in the military was religion. And Tracy is right. Even some of the
But you're watching a show which is primarily dedicated to talking about the influence of religion on society. And if you don't want to hear that kind of talk, then you shouldn't watch.
And religion on society, that's not us.
Yeah, deists aren't necessarily religious. I would agree with that. You're just theistic. It's not really religious. And yeah, and I would agree. And so yeah, you do less damage than a lot of other people.
Less damage.
And I'm happy to do. Well, I mean, promoting unreasonable beliefs is not what I consider harmless. There are things that are more harmful, and I am very happy to make that public statement. And if it helps to hear me delineate that and say, no, deists do not cause as much public harm as Westboro Baptist Church, I am happy to say that. I will acknowledge that publicly right now.
Okay.
But are they both unreasonable? Yes. And is being unreasonable and promoting being unreasonable harmful? Yeah.
So anybody who believes in a God is unreasonable. I get that. And even if it's a God that does not participate, nor answer prayers, nor do anything supernatural, but further and further beyond what man's understanding of the universe is, who knows? Maybe some alien in another dimension
It's the base belief that makes
build
that
his
reasonable. The rest of it is
experiment,
also
caused a Big
unreasonable.
Bang.
I'm just going to come back to the same thing we always say, which is you shouldn't believe stuff with it. I mean, the time to believe stuff is when you have evidence that it's probably true. But I'm going to have to move on. I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Okay. See ya. Thanks for calling.